Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.
Welcome back to the program. We did this last week. This time last week, we had Mr. Lance Johnson on the program, who is in the construction business for a small business spotlight. Lance, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be with you, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you could come back. So tell us. We had a great interview. I really appreciated your story. You being honest about the struggles, the ups, the downs, and what it takes to be a small business owner. Anywhere. But we try to highlight that and the being the backbone of the Arkansas economy and everything else. But I understand that there was, some other things, some details that maybe you wanted to communicate that were left out. So I wanted to have you back on the program, and so you feel free to just take it away.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. The thing that I was thinking about last week, Paul, was that another big issue in our industry is just finding help, finding the tradesmen that can do the work for us. And my company, we subcontract virtually all of the work. And there are incredible opportunities for tradesmen and craftsmen in the construction industry that people don't know about and aren't even aware about. And I've got two examples, but the best one that I can give you is there is a company based in Fayetteville, a Northwest Arkansas company that does plumbing, heating, and electrical work on residential homes and multifamily homes. They are the biggest company in Arkansas for sure doing that, and in the last 10 or 12 years, they've expanded to where they're working in about 18 states today. So it's a large, small business, but they have had to set up their own apprenticeship program, and particularly in the plumbing trades, where if a young man gets accepted, or young man or woman gets accepted to the apprenticeship program, that is a 4-year program. They work 40 hours a week and go to school 4 hours a week for 4 years. The first year after they pass their apprenticeship test, and it's interesting. That's a state test that they have to take, a journeyman plumber test to get a journeyman's license, and 100% of the people that go through their program pass that test, which they have the highest rate of any school in the state of Arkansas. But a first-year journeyman will make between 70 and 80. A first-year journeyman, a man that's been in the program 5 years, will make between $70,000 and $80,000 the first year he's a journeyman.
Wow!
And people don't understand that. And then if they want to take responsibility and advance into a foreman's position or a superintendent's position, the sky's the limit. Now, one of the issues that they face is that by state regulation, they can only train 3 plumbers for every 1 journeyman that they have on their payroll. And that's a state regulation, and they changed it in the last session. The state required a 1-to-1 ratio, and they were able to get it changed so that they can now train 3 apprentices for every journeyman that they have working for them.
Okay, so you're saying that there was a new regulation that was passed this last session, or did I mishear that?
The old reg said that it was a 1-to-1 ratio. So if they've got 20 journeymen on their payroll in Northwest Arkansas, they could train 20 apprentices. Now today, if they've got 20 journeymen, they can train 60 at a time.
Okay.
So that the state's eased up and let them train more people.
Well, that's good. I mean, good grief. that's actually good. I was worried it was the opposite for a second, and I was like, well, add another one to the list. You know what I mean? And add another egg to the list.
This is going in the right direction. but it's still pretty stringent. Colorado, for instance, will let them train a 5-to-1 ratio.
Oh, wow.
Missouri has no ratio. They say you train as many as you want to there.
So, I mean, this is actually, I'm really glad that you brought this up. It's hard. Is it hard to find good help? I mean, is it hard to find these people who want to be craftsmen?
It is very difficult, and I think it starts back in our junior high schools and high schools, Paul. I mean, when I went to school, I took woodshop classes, and there were welding classes, and there were all kinds of things that at least yet let young students know that there were other options. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure where I got the construction bug, but I got it early, and I enjoy it, and it's a great profession, and there's just a lot of opportunities. And you don't have to get on an apprenticeship program and go through that if you don't want to. I have 2 brick masons that work for me that started about 16 years ago. One was a young bricklayer, and one was a helper. They were working through a broker at the time, which during the boom here, that's how a lot of the labor was handled. These 2 young men, 15 years later, have become very, very good brick masons. They've done everything they have to do to set up their businesses, get all their insurances in place, and meet all of our requirements to run a business, and they both have 6-figure incomes today.
Wow.
Now, they're very good at what they do, and they work very hard, but there's a lot of opportunity out there for people that just weren't of the mindset to go to college.
Well, and you brought up college, and you brought up, junior high and high school. So, I mean, I remember from my experience, it was communicated to me by just, I would say, society in general, as well as, once you got to, let's say, the 9th grade, okay, it's like, okay, if you want to be somebody, you've got to go to college, and so now your grades really matter because these are the transcripts that they're going to look at, right? There's so much emphasis, on college, and I'm not disparaging everybody. I'm sure there are exceptions, but it seems like we measure the success of a graduating high school class by how many people get accepted into college, how many people are going to college, and now you consider the debt that people are racking up. I guess my point is, we've got to have a shift in emphasis. I mean, I remember I didn't really ever hear anything about, the idea of, some of these salaries you can make if you just learn a trade or a craft like welding or becoming a brick mason or something like that. I feel like there is I don't know, maybe some of those jobs are looked down upon almost. Like you're not a success if you do these things. You mean the things that like put roofs over people's heads? So talk a little bit about that. I mean, do we need to change the culture in our education environment?
Oh, I think we absolutely do, Paul. And I think we as an industry are working at that now. It's a struggle, but the Home Builders Association in Northwest Arkansas has set up a foundation. We are participating and helping to support some of the high school programs and some of the programs at NWAC and the Technical Institute here in Springdale, but it's going to take a whole lot more than us at a local level. But we absolutely have to let these young folks know that if you don't want to go to college or you don't have the aptitude to go to college and you just want to get up and work hard and be smart about it, you can make a very, very good living. And, on the apprenticeship program I was telling you about, the total 4-year tuition is $2,400. So
Wow.
You're not going to have a lot of debt when you get done.
So how do people, I mean, if people want to apply for that, I mean, what would they do? If they're listening right now, how would they get started?
You give my contact information, and I'll give them the place to go.
Okay. Well, you want me to just give your number out right here on the air? I mean, would that be something to do?
Have him email Lance
Okay.
at jbcinc.biz.
Okay, Lance.
And I'll get him the contact information.
Lance at jbc.biz.
No, jbcinc.biz.
Okay. Joe, did you take that down? Say that for us one more time, Lance. I don't have a pen. I want to make sure
yes,
we get
sir.
this. Go ahead.
The initials like Johnson Building Company,
Mm-hmm.
jbcinc.biz.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Lance, I so appreciate you coming on the program from the Lance Johnson Building Company, because, see, this is a thoughtful conversation. This is a, branching out, kind of even more. I tell you what it does. I tell you what it does kind of highlight is that people who are professionals like yourself, your business and your industry needs a lot better than the government does.
Gosh, I hope so.
Wouldn't that be terrifying if you didn't? Oh, yeah. Man. Okay. All right. Well, Lance Johnson, I appreciate you coming on the program, sir.
Okay, Paul. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, let's do it. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Same to you, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Folks, that's a great discussion there. We're going to take another